Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Racing Unleashed, here for another challenge. It is challenge number 5, I do believe, this season on the iRacing platform. We are here at the home of British racing, and most of all here in a brand new car for the new challenges this week and in 2 weeks' time for the Challenge League and Racer League drivers. We're looking forward to it. If you watched the Formula 1, what a thrilling end to that race. If you're currently watching the end of the football, what a thrilling end to that game. But where else would you rather be than here right now, ready to watch some fantastic esports racing. First of all, though, we can hear from James Walker on a little hardware video that we have in store for you.
This thing is awesome. First of all, starting off with the tub, the chassis itself. This is actually handcrafted in Italy, and it's designed to simulate effectively what it's like to be in a single-seater environment. Now, when you lower yourself inside here, you are sitting in a real carbon seat, which is very trick indeed. Now, what self-respecting single-seater wouldn't have a removable steering wheel? This also carbon effect, real carbon shifters here, and there is a plethora of tech for you to learn as you go down the Racing Unleashed journey. Now, down there's a really trick pedal box. Once again, this is designed to simulate what a brake servo is like on a single-seater with high downforce, really stiff, really reassuring, and you can actually adjust the pedal box itself to get your optimum feel. Now then, racing harnesses. This for me is my favorite feature. There is a retention system inside the shell itself which simulates G-force under heavy braking, and it can actually replicate up to 5 Gs of deceleration. It's super immersive, and when you try it for the first time, you can't believe how much it adds to the overall immersion of driving a single-seater. And then to tie it all together, down here at the back, we've got the hydraulic actuators, and this simulates the lumps and bumps, going over curbs, undulations, and just general movement of the car. All in all, it's one of the best simulator experiences you're going to find anywhere.
Thank you there, James, for the words and updates on our hardware software. Obviously, hopefully there'll be a new video coming very soon with the start of the Assetto Corsa Championship, the in-house championship across our Racing Unleashed lounges throughout Munich, Madrid, Zurich, and Calm as well, because of the fact we're rolling out the new simulators this year. So it's going to be a brand new thing for us to see, and a brand new venture for the drivers to take into, which is going to be fantastic. I managed to have a going one towards the end of last year, and the simulators are upgraded even more. So hopefully we can bring you a updated version of that when the season starts in September. Dates to be confirmed as of yet at the moment, and a calendar yet to be released. Make sure you're following Racing Unleashed on all social media platforms to keep up to date with all the latest action and dramas around at the Racing Unleashed platform. Then we are here, like we said, for the next challenge of this series, and it's a fantastic little endurance kind of action today. We'll get more into what is coming a little later on. We can, though, bring you the race results from the race 2 weeks ago at Spa-Francorchamps in the heavy rain conditions in the Toyota GR86. It was Lorenz Horsing who took home €175, Patrick Thompson 125, and Vlad Tokrev got €75 as well to his name, in what was some thrilling racing all the way throughout in both race 1 and race 2. It was really good to see, really entertaining, and you know, I'd love to see the weather back on the iRacing platform, because I thought that there was 2 weeks of fantastic entertainment coming up. The Challenger League, though, back today. Their prize money obviously a little less compared to normal. I believe we have a graphic to show you as well. The top 5 drivers, again, second time in a row, just to re-jog your memory. €100 for the race winner, €60 for second place, 40 for third, 30 for fourth, and €20 for fifth place. Obviously, that's re-jogged from the last time out from Spa, and it carries on going forward for the rest of the year. That is something that the top 5 can look forward to, taking home a bit of prize money, being able to just get their hands on something. You know, maybe it can fund or go towards funding something in their future projects, or, you know, maybe might buy the next car or track on iRacing. Who knows what they will be able to do with that bit of prize money. Speaking of the track and car that we will be taking to today, it's a fantastic option, a fantastic little layout and format we have for you. The car is an LMP2 car. It is the Dallara P217. It is a Gibson GK 428 4.2 litre V8 engine, 600 horsepower, and weighs only 930 kilograms. It's got a top speed of 209 miles per hour and does 0 to 100 kilometers in 3.1 seconds. It is a beautiful bit of kit, and I'm looking forward to seeing it out there on the circuit. It really does look like I've just been seeing some of the practice sessions off air, and although the grid is a bit smaller today, the cars look a lot of fun from what I was seeing on our monitor, so it really does look like it's going to be brilliant. The track, as you can see, you don't need any explanation as to what that track is over my shoulder. It is the home of British motorsport. It is Silverstone. It is going to be an absolutely fantastic race as you come through turn 1, which is the famous can't overtake Copse Corner, in towards then the Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel. A fantastic section of corners that are flowing fast and furious, as you can see here now on the full screen. In fact, actually, I've got the wrong start line. The start line is the Sir Lewis Hamilton straight. Turns 3 and 4 is Farmington Village. Then you get through the link onto Aintree, down the Wellington straight towards Brooklands and Luffield. Again, lovely, lovely section of this Silverstone circuit. And you see there, absolutely fantastic layout of corners, old style racetrack is Silverstone. Great to see. Come through Woodcote, flat out. You're not even going to realise it's there. Then down to turn 9. Copse Corner. Can't overtake, apparently. Well, let's see what happens today. Through Copse Corner you go, and then you get to sweeping to Maggots and Beckett's and exit onto Chapel. An absolutely thrilling part of the racetrack here at Silverstone, not far from the studio where we are based. Down the hangar straight in towards Stowe. Great right-hander, chance to maybe look up the inside and make a few overtakes as you come down Vale in towards the club section of the circuit. And this is a very tricky position, tricky part of the circuit to get right, get absolutely spot on, nail it down the Sir Lewis Hamilton start straight. That it would be a lap of this famous racetrack, in which the British Grand Prix will be there next weekend, in which I'm sure many of you watching from home, especially in the UK, will be looking to attend and cheer on the likes of Lewis Hamilton, George Russell, Lando Norris as the home favourites for that race. But we are here today. We currently have the circuit for the LMP2 Dallara to go around, and absolutely beautiful to see, an absolutely thrilling track to be on, and these cars look fantastic. They're doing it in 1 minute 46. I mean, that's the fastest time that we're seeing out there. And yeah, absolutely fantastic. The format, though, for this race, different format. We change the format every time, and we have a brand new format now. 30 drivers could take part. There is only 11 at the moment. We're hoping for that 12th. We have 11 at the moment. It is a 10-minute qualifying session around this circuit in which the drivers are doing 46, 47s at the moment. We then have a 25-lap race, 45 minutes roughly. 2 pit stops will be necessary. Now, the tank is limited to 40% capacity on the fuel tank, meaning that drivers, a full tank is only 40% of it, pretty much, meaning that they have to stop twice in this first race. After that, it is then going to be a top 6 shootout for the prize money. If you are inside that top 6 after 25 laps in the first race, it will then be a top 6 shootout in a 3-lap sprint race for race 2. Top 5 drivers out of that will take home the prize money. Of course, the top 3 will get to speak with on the podium a little later on in the race. So that is the format, that is the circuit, that is the car. We're looking forward to some fantastic action, and I believe as we're coming into the last 3.5 minutes of practice that we can maybe take a look trackside. I'm looking forward to this one. Let me tell you, it is a clear day at Silverstone. It is blue skies. There we can see how nice it looks, and the drivers are, well, tearing it up. There's 2.7 seconds separating the top 10 at the moment. There's only a second separating the top 4, just over between the top 5, and there's 11 drivers out there. One yet to set a lap time, but I believe he has come in the lobby quite late. There is the Woodcote corner that you can see just in front of us, and with 3 minutes left of practice, it's going to be an interesting one to see what the drivers will be able to do as we finally get to see a car come through it there. Maggots and Beckett's, what a camera angle through there. That'll be brilliant to see on the opening lap of this race. That's going to be a fantastic day. This is Vlad Tokarev we are currently on board with at the moment, and yeah, going to be an interesting one as The 11th car is coming out the pit lane now, so must have come into the lobby late. He is coming out the pit lane now. I've got familiar faces. Vlad Tokarev, Miguel Alonso, who is on screen now. He'll be with us on the grid today. Martin Kovac's back for some more action, as well as Borja Zarzo. Gianluca Palmisano is there. Andrew Fairley will be out there on track. I believe this is the first time we're seeing Andrew. Ruben Villanova, brilliant to see. We've just got the 12th driver who set the qualifying time in, so all 12 drivers are here. Great to see. Ruben Villanova will be is in the track, as well as Thomas Herzog, Kevin Millard, Harris Skenduri, Jamie Ego, and then Augustin Fidalgo is in as well. There is Jamie Ego on the camera there. There is Andrew Fairley, the English driver. So we're looking at the comments as well. Vamos Ruben, says Oscar in the chat. Pablo, here are the fans of the the Macuinsa Motorsport. Apologies if I butcher that name. Great driver, Ruben Villanova. Go for it all. So there we go. Got Ruben Villanova fans in the chat. If I've butchered the team name, I do apologise, Pablo. But yeah, interesting day at the moment out there. Borja Zarzo currently on a outlap privateer. It is then 12 cars will take to this race, and the drivers have got an opportunity now, with it being such a short grid, to have that chance of taking some prize money home. This is Ruben Villanova. Then coming through Brooklands and Luffield now, and just look at these LMP cars. Beautiful cars. Obviously got to see them in the Le Mans race 2 weeks ago. Great to see them back out on the circuit with the World Endurance cars, using all the curb, maybe part of the grass there, as he turns it and flicks it into Cops. Uses as much runoff as he dares, does Ruben. Now into Magus Beckett. So let's watch through here. You hear him just slight lifts, getting the exit of Brooklands wrong into Chapel, maybe just taking too much curb, but absolutely fantastic to see, absolutely brilliant to watch as well. So great to see Ruben Villanova there on the circuit at the moment. P7 so far, 1.3 off the back of Vlad Tokarev, but it depends on what he's kind of gone for. Has he gone for a fast lap? Has he gone for a bit of a race run? He's now giving us a weave of the tyres as he comes down Vale into Club. And that will be the end of the free practice session then. And we now head towards the qualifying session, that 10-minute qualifying that we all know and love. And it's going to be a fantastic, fascinating one to see here, because it is quite a long circuit. You know, the drivers have got plenty of time to get out there, get some space, clear the air, get a gap, and put a good lap time in. Drivers are now leaving the pit lane here at Silverstone. And don't forget, the one thing that these drivers have as well is it is a solo qualifying. So the drivers will not be able to see the other cars on the circuit. It'll be, so everything I've just said, ignore, basically, because I forgot it is a solo qualifying. They won't see anybody. They've got all the track to themselves. We will be able to flick through. There is Thomas Herzog. Great to see Thomas back. If he was a part of Racing Unleashed last year, you'll remember that Thomas joined me in the rush hour part of the championship. We got to speak with him. He's a man who does many Ironman events, triathlons, loves going out on the push bike and getting in the kilometres, but is a die-hard racer as well. Loves to be in the seats and loves to have a good go, as he's giving us the peace sign there. Great to see you, Thomas, and a wave as well. Brilliant to see Thomas Herzog on screen. He's clearly tuned in, ready to go in this one. Then here is Kevin Millard then, the American driver. What will he be able to do? 499 Racing is the team he's representing. So this is going to be fascinating to see what Kevin could do here on the home of British Motorsport. So he's coming through Brooklands and Luffield at the moment. Bit of a long outlap for these drivers to make sure that their tyres are in a good window, their brakes temperature sits nicely. This is Augustin Fidalgo then. Nice livery on the car. The blue and green with the base layer of black. Nice to see that from Augustin. Hope everybody is doing well on this Sunday afternoon. The end of June, 30th of June. We're moving to July tomorrow. So already over halfway through the year. And the action coming thick and fast as drivers now starting their fast laps at the minute. This is on board with Augustine. We can see so far drivers crossing the line. You see their times being changed at the bottom. And that is because they are crossing the line, start their fast laps in this one at the minute. This is on board with Augustine, then down the hanger straight, brakes hard into Stowe. Down to second gear. See a twitch of the wheel as he just puts the power down out of Stowe at the moment. Oh, lock up into club. That's going to cost him a couple of tenths. Big lock up there. Vlad Tokarev currently purple through sectors 1 and 2. And Gianluca Palmisano a little ahead on the circuit at the moment, only green and green. Miguel Alonso's gone purple through sector 1. So we'll see who will be quickest. He's only gone green through sector 2, though. This is on board Augustine still at the moment. Palmisano a little further ahead than Augustine, I do believe. And here is Gianluca Palmisano at the minute coming down towards... In fact, no, he's not. He's not further up the road. He's only on the hanger straight. Is he? He is. Yeah, no, he is. Yeah, he's about to finish his lap. Yeah, apologies. He's coming through Stowe now, down towards Vale. Villanova has gone yellow in that fourth sector. iRacing sectors work a little different. I assume, anyway. Vlad Tokarev purple through everything at the moment. Here is Gianluca Palmisano, then coming through the final corner. Puts the time on the board. And he goes 1.5 seconds slower than Vlad Tokarev, who did a 46.5, absolutely flying. Villanova goes up into P2. Alonso now moves into second place. Borges Zarzo gets a time on the screen. That's P5. Thomas Herzog is into the 46s. That is only good enough for P6. In fact, I don't think he's put a valid lap time in. Kovacs P3 overall at the moment. What about Andrew Fairley? This is on board with Kevin Millard. Down the start straight. Down the Vale straight, sorry, in towards club, now towards the Sir Lewis Hamilton straight, just patient on the throttle, picks it up now. And he roars down the start straight. Ego goes into P7. Millard gets his time up into P6 at the moment. So Thomas Herzog lap time must have been invalidated there. Vlad Tokarev purple through the first sector, but nothing through sector 2. No improvement. This is on board your pole sitter now. Or provisional pole sitter through Maggots, Beckett and Chappell onto the hanger straight he goes. He's still not improved through that third sector. It comes through Stowe. And you can really chuck these cars in and just let them grip and go through. Alonso seems like he's going to be on a better lap. Tokarev's going to bail. So here is now Miguel Alonso on a lap. Andrew Fairley, Thomas Herzog and Harris Skenderi not yet set a lap time. But through club comes Alonso then. Is it going to be an improvement? Can he find can he find 6 tenths? Can he go any quicker? Finds very little there, just under a tenth he finds, and that puts him P2 at the moment. No change as of yet. Borges Zarzo stays in 8th. Here is Ego. Thomas Herzog now moves into 8th. He's put a lap time on the board. Jamie Ego, Swiss driver, currently 10th fastest. Kovacs in the pits, as is Villanova. Kovacs now back out on the circuit. Ego to the line. And I don't believe improved. Villanova is in the pits. No improvement there. This is Harris Skenderi then, who comes through club. Bit of a wiggle on the exit. Does he get a lap time on the board? This time only P11. So the only man yet to put a lap time on the board is that of Andrew Fairley. And here is Andrew. Harris has an off-track, so that'll put end to this lap for Harris. Miguel Alonso, quick again, just a personal best through that third sector. Through Luffield now comes Fairley then down through Woodcote onto the national start straight here. Flicks it into Abbey, through Cobb, sorry. Using all the runoff possible to his name. Needs to get a lap time on the board. Will maybe just get enough time for one more run in. Don't forget the qualifying ends on the 10-minute mark, so even if they're on a lap, that will be the end of qualifying. Down onto the hanger straight now comes Fairley. At the moment, personal best on the timing screens in front of him. Borges Zarzo on a better lap, goes P5, so he's had a good one there. Thomas Herzog. Did he move up the leaderboard? I don't think he did. Andrew Fairley, look, personal best, goes purple in that fourth little sector. Now, what about the end of the lap for Andrew? Comes to the line out of club, little wiggle through the first part of it. Only goes green through that final sector. Where does that put him on the timing screens? It hasn't. No time again for Andrew Fairley then. So what looked a pretty decent lap, he's had an off-track somewhere. Gianluca Palmisano's on 2 personal bests down in 7th place. This is Fidalgo, goes across the line, stays P3. So Gianluca Palmisano's a man who is improving at the moment. Only one driver in the 46ers, that is Vlad Tokarev. Gianluca Palmisano now sector 3 gone yellow. Has he had a moment somewhere as well, because he was about to set a lap time before Miguel Alonso, and now he's not. So I wonder if he's had a bit of a moment, has Gianluca Palmisano. All the drivers still out there. And this will be the last lap for Palmisano then, who's gone personal best again in that fourth little sector. He's going to come out on the exit of club. Martin Kovacs was quickest in sector 1, but hasn't had a personal best throughout. Palmisano stays where he is in P7. That'll be him done. Tokarev and Zarzo in the pit lane. They are done for qualifying as well. Thomas Herzog, did he just improve? Yes, goes P7 ahead of Palmisano. So he improves. Martin Kovacs now sets a purple first sector. Hasn't done anything since. Comes to the line. And it was green at the end, but not good enough to change from P4. This then is Villanova, as Andrew Fairley gets a lap time done again and puts himself P5. So he manages, all 12 managed to get a lap time on the board. Here comes Villanova. He's been personal best since sector 2. Nothing in the final sector, and it's not enough to change his position on the timing screen, so he stays P7. Go Alonso in the chat, but what a qualifying session that was. It was only Vlad Tokarev, the man in the 46ers. Miguel Alonso will be second place from Augustin Fidalgo. I'll bring you full confirmation of that at the end. And Andrew Fairley left it very, very late, left it till the very end to get a lap time on the board as we get the cars ready to go on the grid here in Heat 1. This, though, is final confirmation of the grid order. Vlad Tokarev and Miguel Alonso will be on row 1. Row 2, Augustin Fidalgo alongside Martin Kovacs. Row 3 is Andrew Fairley from Borges Zarzo. Row 4, Ruben Villanova from Thomas Herzog. Row 5 is Gianluca Palmisano from Kevin Millard. And on the final row, Jamie Ego versus Harris Skenderi there then. So that is currently the drivers on the grid. 12 drivers today. Obviously, if you want to take part in the Racer League event, make sure you are registered. You need an iRacing, apologies, over 4,500 iRating, 4,500 to compete in the Racer League. Make sure you go to apexracingleague.com and sign apexracingleague.com, apologies, and go there, sign up, make sure you're a part of the Discord, read the rules and regulations. You'll then have the chance to set a pre-qualifying time. If you're inside the top 30, you'll be able to qualify for the next event, which takes place in 2 weeks' time. Again, this is Racer League, so your iRating needs to be 4,500 or more. It will be this Dallara LMP2 car that we're seeing on screen, and it will be Silverstone. It is the same event for the next 2. Obviously, as then we move into the next challenge going into the back end of July and August. So if you want to take part, apexracingleague.com. and sign up through there. Make sure you're a part of the Racing Unleashed Discord as well to set your pre-qualifying time, which I believe opens tomorrow. I'll be told if I'm wrong in my ear, but I believe it opens tomorrow for the pre-qualifying. In a week tomorrow, apologies. So the 8th of July pre-qualifying will open, and that is when you'll be able to get your time in for that Racer League event. It's a brilliant event, a chance to win some prize money, so we please encourage all drivers to enter, as it will be a rolling start once again then. Who will be the drivers in this 45-minute race, 25 laps, roughly 45 minutes? Who's going to be the drivers? 2 pit stops, let's not forget. This is the interesting part. Now, the drivers haven't been forced to make a pit stop in this entire series so far. Now, they are being forced. Fuel, I doubt they will be changing tyres. Who knows? Who knows what will happen in this race? Down the Vale straight they come then in towards Club. The safety car has already peeled off into the pit lane. And Vlad Tokrev will be the man to take them away. And it's a question of when will Vlad Tokrev decide to go? Out of Club, he's gone. And we are green here for the start of this race, and here in the Delora LMP2 cars around Silverstone. The red light's still on screen. It's gone out now. They flick through Abbey, and already they go single file through Abbey pretty much straight away. Nobody getting in trouble, and dramas. Slipstream not very strong in these cars, I was told off here. So Vlad Tokrev has that chance, while the slipstream's not great, to pull away and take advantage of these battles happening behind. That is Borges also looking up the inside of the blue and black car of Augustin Fidalgo then. Sorry, no, he's got alongside Augustin now. They're coming down the Wellington straight there, side by side. Maybe a bit of side draft going on as Borges also in the bright minty green car. Up the inside of Brooklands, and a spinner all on his own. And who is that? We've had another drama behind that. Is Andrew Fairley, who's had a drama all on his own. He's got work to redo as well. Skanduri didn't take to the start of this race. And I believe it was Villanova who's had a spin all on his own as well. Off track at Brooklands and Luffield then, but Vlad Tokrev took some prize money home in the Race League, took prize money home in the Challenger League as well last time out. So Vlad on course for maybe the chance to get into the top 6. Here is Miguel Alonso. Currently second place at the moment, 1.2 off the back of Tokrev. Skanduri's on the pit exit now, but he's gone a lap down near enough as they're coming down the hangar straight. So that's going to probably be the end of Skanduri's day, to be fair. But 45-minute race, anything could happen. I am noting though it says an hour's race on the timer there. So not sure at the moment. Hopefully our broadcaster will be able to tell us if it is an hour long or 45 minutes. Having a look into it. Here's Martin Kovacs at the moment. MP3, the Hungarian driver, coming through Abbey in towards Farm now. Got a little bit of a gap, and this is what we've been told about these LMP2 cars. Is slipstream's a bit weak. It is 25 laps, so the race should be done after 25 laps. There we go. Has been changed now, so we're not going for the hour. The drivers obviously may not have prepared for that one. That would have been a bit more than a 2 pit stop race. This, though, back down for Augustin Fidalgo, currently in P7, needs to be in that top 6 area to get through to that sprint finale at the end of this one then. He's not far from the back of Thomas Herzog, Palmisano, Zarzo, Kovacs, Alonso and Tokrev, your top 6 that will go through at the minute fairly. Watch for him to come through the pack here. So here we go, through Copse Corner. Fairley's out. So I'm not sure what's happened to Andrew Fairley, but he is out of this race, it's saying. Nope, he's back in. Yeah, he's parked up. He's had a big moment somewhere. He's retired the car, and that is his day done. What a shame, because Andrew Fairley had some good pace in that practice session, but it's all about the top 6 in this race to get through to that 3-lap sprint to take home the prize money. No prize money in store for this race. It's all about that shootout at the end. Palmisano coming through Stowe, then down the Vale straight. You see behind Thomas Herzog and Fidalgo having a great battle for the end of that top 6. Herzog just outbrakes. You can kind of outbrake yourself at club because it kind of gives you that inside line for the next part of the chicane. Thomas Herzog there just went a little deep, managed to hang on to it. Great racing in the chat. Glad the chat are enjoying it at the moment. We can see, though, what happened at the start of this race. It was a great start from Vlad Tokarev, who dropped the hammer out of club and just didn't really look back. Everybody filtered through nicely through single file in this one. A little lunge maybe here or there coming through in towards the link, which links the national and international circuit together. And again, Borges also great run up the inside through Aintree onto the Wellington Straight. And Andrew Fairley's in the chat. He got a 3-second screen freeze, he's saying. That is why he's out of the race. And that was Andrew there, who lost the rear. And I believe, did he just clip the rear of what would have been Villanova? I think he has done, yeah. And there you see the rear wing fell off. This is Villanova's view. So Andrew Fairley dropping the rear. He tries to avoid him. Bang! Can't avoid him. And yeah, we're going to get one more look at this chopper view from Villanueva. Yeah, just clips the back of Andrew Fairley's car, and that's where you saw the rear wing come off. This is Kevin Millard, though, down in 9th place at the moment. On the brakes. Now, we're expecting the drivers in roughly 16 minutes into this race. Now we're 5.5 minutes in at the moment, as that's a lunge there a little bit from Fidalgo, just trying to have a sneak up the inside of Thomas Herzog, and he's still having a look underneath through the club section. Thomas Herzog a little wiggle onto the curb now as they come towards Abbey. Thomas is really having to defend from Fidalgo, who's going to try and go round the outside, uses all the road he can, gets that up the inside, now up to Farm. War chops the nose off of Thomas coming into Aintree. And I'm sure Thomas is going to have to try and go once more to attack that of Augustin Fidalgo, but really aggressive driving there. And that was fantastic racing to see from the pair of them. As Fidalgo goes a little deep, misses his apex there at Brooklands, and now into Luffield. So just loses a bit of momentum at the moment. Fidalgo now down towards Copse Corner, just managing to stretch his gap. Through Copse they go. How brave's Thomas through there? Big lift back on the power. You just see Fidalgo maybe carried a bit more speed through there, and that puts him into the top 6. Now it's that top 6 that go through to the 3-lap sprint. So we're on lap 4 of 25, and anything can still happen here, but it is Vlad Tokarev from Alonso from Kovacs is your top 3. Borges also 4th, Gianluca Palmisano. Then it is that of Fidalgo in P6 before Thomas Herzog, Jamie Ego, Kevin Millard, Ruben Villanueva and Harris Scanderi as well. This is the battle on the right-hand side of screen between, I believe, Ego and Millard, who are behind this of Herzog and Fidalgo then. So huge battle here, and if these two could try and maybe just slipstream each other a little bit, even though it's weak, but use each other and not hold each other up, they could maybe bring themselves into Thomas Herzog and that top 6 battle. Great run through the corner there through Maggots and Beckett's for Kevin Millard. You see him now just in that slipstream once again. Great side-by-side camera shots. He's pulling out to have a look maybe at Stowe. He's just got a bit more speed, but not close enough yet to have a look up the inside. And carries on his way. At the moment, great driving from these two down in P8 and 9. Here is Kevin Millard, the driver from the United States of America. Looking racy here. Villanueva's not far behind in the background. Last time out, Millard was only a couple of hundredths quicker. And Fidalgo, sorry, set his personal best of the race. Watch for Borja Zorzo. He managed to be half a second quicker than Kovacs in front. That gap's just sitting under a second at the minute. So keep your eyes on Borja Zorzo. There is Villanueva in the background. Don't forget, these drivers have got to pit twice in this race. So did Scanderi drive into the pit lane? I don't think he did. I think he missed the start. Says he was in the pits for 2.8 seconds, so not quite sure. Millard right on the rear end now of Ego at the moment. Down towards Abbey. They're going to come. Is he going to pull out and have a look at Abbey? No, sits behind him. Patience. Great to see. Lap 6 of 25. So plenty of time left in this race. Oh, really closes under braking into Village there. Through the link. Through Aintree. Millard more confident on the brakes than Ego just in front. Is he going to look up into Brooklands for the first time? No. A little wide that though from Ego, and look who's on the back of them now. It is that of Villanueva sliding through the exit of Luffield, and look who goes right around the outside. Millard, brilliant driving that on the exit of Luffield, fantastic to see. And now Ruben Villanueva is looking to come back and pounce in this one as well. Lot of curb through Copse Corner. And then messes it up through Maggots and Beckett's a little bit there. Ego's having a look back on Millard at the moment. This is the battle for 8th, 9th and 10th. Great little scrap happening here. Long pit lane as well at Silverstone. Slow and long pit lane. So going to be interesting to see when the drivers decide to come into the pits. You just hear Villanueva there, just can't get on the power as early as he would have liked to. Down 3 places, but he's on the comeback here, is Ruben. Through Abbey. Whoa, look at the corner speed there. Look at the confidence that Ruben's got. Late on the brakes, up the inside. No, door was always going to shut, and he backs out of that one nicely. Quite sensible as well. This is on the rear view of Jamie Ego then. Down the Wellington straight, lap 7 of 25. Villanueva looking to the outside of Brooklyn, just loses a lot of momentum as he drifts quite wide. And Borja Zorzo lost a tenth to Kovacs last time around, so that is back to normal. Gianluca Palmisano lost a couple of tenths to Fidalgo, but that gap is 3.5 seconds, so Fidalgo's going to look to try and bring that gap down. Thomas Herzog did his PB. This is Kovacs in that 3rd place. He's got Borja Zorzo within 0.6 of a second. And the car in the background, believe he's Gianluca Palmisano, 2.7 behind. A 3-lap sprint for the prize money could be absolute chaos later on. But the Hungarian driver's got a bit of work to do here. We saw how much work he had to do a month ago in the Challenger League race. Managed to get a bit of prize money to his name, though. This is back to Villanueva looking around the outside of Corby. Gets the momentum, gets the drive out the corner. He's now going to look around the outside for the second part. Is this going to work? He's got to go right off the track. Manages to keep 2 wheels just on it. Gets past Ego nicely. Fairley's coming out the pit exit, so he's back to fight in this race. Track time is track time at the end of the day. But Ruben Villanueva manages to get up to P9, and now he can set his sights after Millard, who's already put a bit of time between them. This is Vlad Tokarev gaining on the back of Scanderi then. Take a look at a few replays. So this is, I'm not quite sure who that is. This is Fidalgo getting past Thomas Herzog there. Then it was a great move. It was an aggressive move. This is Millard on Ego with Villanueva in the background. Got a black livery on in the replay, white on the live action. So Jamie Ego sporting two colours, but it's a great move from Millard around the outside on the exit of Luffield. Brilliant to see. This was the 81. This is Thomas Herzog having his own moment, and is that kind of putting him out of that top 6 battle? Well, we'll have to wait and see. Plenty of time left in the race, but it has put Millard on the back of him as Tokarev now. 14 minutes in the race, Tokarev comes into the pits, as does Miguel Alonso. So now we're seeing drivers pit. This could be where Scanduri decides, manages to come back and gain a bit of time. Great to see Andrew Fairley in, and all the drivers are in the pit lane. So not one driver risking an extra lap here. They're all in at the same time. Now, who does what in the pit lane? I have the pit times in front of me, so I'll be able to tell you how much time they were stationary for. And we do have one car carrying on. It is Kevin Millard, who's now up 9 places. Vlad Tokarev is on the pit exit, 14.7 seconds in the pits, 15.2 for Miguel Alonso, 15.1 for Kovacs. Borges also managed to find a couple of tenths in the pits there over Kovac. Gianluca Palmisano, 15.2 seconds. Fidalgo, 14.7. So he managed to have a good stop over Gianluca Palmisano. And this is Vlad Tokarev, who I believe has got a back marker on the rear. 16.7. Thomas Herzog, 23.5. Ooh, he has lost a lot of time in the pit lane. And Jamie Ego, 23 seconds as well. They've both lost a bit of time in the pits. Where is Scanduri then on the track at the moment? Wondering if he's going to be a little closer to these drivers as they come out of the pit lane. That'll be the interesting one to see. So here's Miguel Alonso, currently P3 then. We're expecting Millard in the pits any time now. He's only got 5.6 seconds over that of Vlad Tokarev. We're expecting Millard into the pit lane as Scanduri now comes in himself. So this is going to be an interesting one to see. How far Millard goes. Kovac's a bit closer to Alonso and managed to gap Borgesarzo a little bit as well, even though his pit stop was slightly slower. Managed to gap Borgesarzo a little bit. Gianluca Palmisano lost a bit of time to Fidalgo as well, but it's Thomas Herzog on the back of Villanueva. So Villanueva jumped Thomas Herzog in the pits. In comes Millard now for his stop. And Millard was P7, I do believe. No, P8, gaining on Herzog on that last lap. So there goes Tokarev. That is Andrew Fairley in the background. Millard already just dropping down the standings. Alonso goes past him now. Kovacs goes past him. So he was fighting Thomas Herzog. He was P8. Where's he going to come out? He's already down in 7th place, still in that pit lane. Villanueva still behind. He's not yet away. He's in there for some time at the minute. Is Millard. Over 23 seconds into 24 seconds. He's away now. And he's going to lose out to Villanueva and Thomas Herzog. So came in, when everybody came into the pits, he was P8. He's now going to come out P9, but knows he can possibly go that little extra. He's got to make 2 stops. So his last stop will surely be a little lighter splash and dash. Maybe looking to go as long into this second stint as possible now for Millard. Villanueva, to get inside that top 6, needs to gain 16 seconds over Augustin Fidalgo then. And he's got Thomas Herzog for company. Vlad Tokarev, the only man in the 46ers at the minute. He's been fantastic in this one so far. Don't forget the prize money is won in that second race, the 3-lap shootout. Ruben Villanueva, and now they're on laps out of the pits. See here, Vlad Tokarev. 47.2. Miguel Alonso, 47.9, so just gains a couple more tenths over Alonso, does Tokarev that lap. Kovacs and Borges Zorzo in the 48s. Fidalgo, a couple of tenths quicker than Gianluca Palmisano at the moment, so interesting to see. What about Villanueva? Well, in the 48.6s, so lost 8 tenths to Fidalgo there. Thomas Herzog a tenth quicker. They're going to have a heavier Millard, try and gain on the back of them. Great Andrew Fairley back out there though, trying to get to the end of this race. Harry Scanderi as well, trying to get to the end. There's an off track for Fidalgo there. Don't want to pick up too many of them. So looking back from Villanueva then on to Thomas Herzog, half a second just over is the gap. Was a little quicker last time around, was Thomas Herzog. Over Villanueva, yeah. Who, to get in that top 6, needs to find 17.5 seconds, but can't at the moment. Is a bit slower than Fidalgo. And Fidalgo's quicker than Palmisano by a tenth. Sorry, by a couple of tenths last time around. Ooh, is that an off track there for Villanueva? Interesting to see. Thomas Herzog looking to close under braking. He's right up the rear end now with Villanueva, so he did close under braking a little bit there, did Thomas Herzog, as they come down towards Abbey. The 12th time in this race, the 25 laps in it, 13 to go. Tokarev in a league of his own at the minute, 6.5 seconds clear of Miguel Alonso. Thomas Herzog though putting pressure on the back of Villanueva at the minute as they come through the link down towards the Wellington straight now. Slipstream minimal in these cars, so it's not like he's going to breeze past him down here. Breaks a little earlier than Villanueva in towards Brooklyn. To Villanueva there, you just see that car's rear end just wanting to come around on him. Thomas Herzog just being able to get through the corners a bit better than Villanueva here. I wonder if Ruben has a bit of damage on his car. Did he repair it maybe from that contact with Andrew Fairley earlier in the race? Oh, and the Thomas completely misses the apex of Cop's corner. So that allows Villanueva to pull away a little bit. Here's your race leader though, Vlad Tokarev. Literally out for a Sunday stroll at the moment. The gap has increased over the laps. You look at lap 11 from lap 6, you look at how much that gap has increased. Absolutely fantastic. Alonso was quicker by half a second on lap 8. Since then, he's been 6 tenths, 8 tenths, and 7 tenths, pretty much 8 tenths slower than Vlad Tokarev, who, you know, could afford a half a second here or there, you'd imagine, just to, you know, let Miguel catch up a little bit. Miguel won't mind, though. This is to get through to the top 6 finale, the 3-lap sprint. There is Martin Kovacs. Again, another man just not able to do a lot at the moment. Was a 10th quicker than Alonso last time around. Comes down the start line now. Again, finds a 10th. So not much in it at the minute between these drivers. They'll be pitting again within the next 6 or so minutes, I imagine, to get to the end of this race. Thomas Herzog still on the back of Villanueva. Gianluca Palmisano currently running P5. Augustin Fidalgo P6. Borges also in a quiet P4, but Thomas Herzog still within that half a second as Fidalgo's had a moment. That is coming through Luffield. Not really going to hurt him. He's got the gap over Villanueva, but it'll definitely hurt them tyres and it'll bring him a bit closer as well. So the gap, 16 seconds. So brings him a little bit closer. Not a huge amount at the moment. But yeah, Fidalgo there has his own little moment, his own problems. We'll want to put them to bed for the rest of this race. Villanueva's just opened a gap up a tenth or two to Thomas Herzog, who's just dropped off the back of him slightly over the course of this last lap. Millard lapping similar to these two. There he is in the background, is Millard, 1.3 off the back of them. So interesting at the moment to see that Villanueva still hanging on in there. He looked like he had pace early on over Millard and Ego. Ego not managing to keep with this pack. And Thomas Herzog, as we saw on the replays, had his own moment. And that's probably why he's fell into this pack. Maybe he changed the tyres. Borges Orzo's now within a second of Kovacs. He gained 8 tenths on the last lap, did Borges Orzo. So maybe a change for third. Obviously, it means nothing at the moment. It's all about that 3-lap sprint race coming up a little later on. And I do believe, and this is a question from my producer in my ear, the grid order is set by the race result for the top 6. So I'll get back to you on that one. We do believe, we will confirm it though when we bring you the grid order, but it is Thomas Herzog still, he's getting closer and closer and then loses a couple of tenths. And this is where now Thomas is in a strange window to being. Very interesting one at the moment to see what these drivers are going to do. But for Thomas Herzog so far, doing the job he needs to do and making sure he's able to bring home the car. Because I don't think from this position he's going to get that top 6. It's going to be hard work for him. But let's see what will happen in this race. Anything can still happen. 11 laps still to go. And I can tell you it is the grid order. So the way the top 6 finish will be the way they line up in the next one. Borges also is in 6 tenths now of Kovacs. So he's again just chipped away at that gap to Martin Kovacs like he did pre-pit stops. The one I'm looking at, the one I'm interested to keep an eye on is Millard here in the pits. If Millard, he went that extra lap, has he fueled a bit heavier? He was in the pits for some 24 seconds. So is he literally splashing and dashing at the very end of this race? Let's wait and see. But at the minute, all good if you're Vlad Tokrev. You've got a 9-second gap over the next car. So you are absolutely flying. And yeah, going to be an interesting one for sure. Fairly out of this race. Oh, sorry, he's into the pits. That'll be his pit stop done. He's obviously a handful of laps down. Had a screen freeze, managed to get back in to the lobby and the game. Tech Sport Academy by AMS driver. Got 2 battles really happening on circuit at the moment. Ruben Villanueva from Thomas Herzog, with Kevin Millard gaining on them 2. And then we've got Martin Kovacs and Borges Orzo. Borges just lost out a little bit now over the last course of this lap. He's just lost 3 tenths through the last sector. You just see there, look, the gap just coming down. Went up on the last lap, though. So going to be interesting. It'd be great to speak with Borges Arzo. I don't believe we've managed to speak to any of the Racing Unleashed drivers from the in-lounge season of last year. As of yet, it's all been brand new competitors to the Racing Unleashed channel that we've managed to speak to all season. So let's wait and see what happens then through here. Kovacs is in, so he's pulled the trigger over Borges Arzo, looking for the undercut maybe to extend his gap over Borges Arzo. Palmisano is also in, so Tokarev, Alonso, Zarzo going a bit longer at the moment. Fidalgo in. I assume Villanueva and Herzog are going to come into the pit lane as well. But Martin Kovacs going for an undercut opportunity, or is Zarzo going for the overcut? Let's wait and see. Yeah, Villanueva and Herzog in. Millard, I'm not expecting to come in unless he's going to pit now and go to the end. No, stays out on track. Martin Kovacs, 14.75, stay in the pit, so he's already back out on circuit. And I don't believe Millard got past him. So Kovacs stays ahead of Millard, who is there in the background. You just saw the bottom of his car come into shot. We might see it now. Palmisano is now away. He's back into position. Fidalgo stationary. Palmisano stationary for 24 seconds. Fidalgo stationary for 23. I hope they've worked their fuel out right, because I don't feel I feel they've possibly fueled a little more than what they needed to. Kovacs going at 14 seconds, or have they changed tyres? Villanueva and Herzog. Herzog lost a second to Villanueva, but they've come out, yeah, and you can tell now on the timing screens, just lost a couple of tenths. Identical, well, I say identical, bang on a second. 23.8 for Villanueva, 23.8 for Thomas Herzog. Vlad Tokarev, needn't worry. He's in the pits, can just cruise home. Miguel Alonso's into pit lane as well, with that gap being 9.8 seconds. In comes Borges Arzo. Kevin Millard's the interesting one here, though, for me, over this Borges Arzo battle. Arzo's on the back of Kovacs. Millard is only 3.6 behind, so how long is this man going? Because he had a long pit stop. Did he change tyres? Did he just fuel the car? I'm not quite sure. So has he got another lap in him? Scanduri comes in for his second stop. Here comes Millard. He stays out on the track. Tokarev is in and gone, 15.9. Alonso, 15.3. He's on his way out. Borges Arzo, 14.0. Was 7 tenths faster in the pits than Kovacs. So where is Borges Arzo? Where is Martin Kovacs? Kovacs just goes through. Borges Arzo now just under a second. So that gap went up from Kovacs to Zarzo last time around. Zarzo now back within a second. And I like Millard's strategy here. If he's got to just drive in, put a couple of laps in the car, I don't mind this from Millard. Has this just worked into his hands? Well, they're saying that he has only got 18 seconds back to Fidalgo. You're in the pits for at least 15. Maybe a little less, but the in and out drive time is just going to hurt you. Millard pitted on lap 9. We're on lap 18. Let's see the strategy Millard's played. Let's see the strategy he's played, because this could either be a blinder and get inside the top 6. But we'll see coming to the end of this 45 minutes, 25 lap race. So Kovacs gained about half a second over Alonso in the pit lane, but Borges Arzo gained 7 tenths. He's back within a second now of Kovacs. Going that extra lap, probably putting that 1 lap less amount of fuel, meaning that he's obviously going to be running similar now. His tyres have had a chance to cool down a bit as well and come back into a better window. Millard is now in. So long pit lane here. Zarzo goes through, Kovacs goes back through. Obviously, he kind of cut the last club section out as you enter the pits. Has this worked for Millard? Is he going to put himself in a position of fighting in these last couple of laps for that place? This is back with Borges Arzo, just keeping an eye on the timing screen at the moment. Well, he loses out to Palmisano, who's just had an off track. He's lost out to Fidalgo. Yeah, I think he's tried something different, and I applaud the fact that he's tried something different. 16 seconds in the pits, and not as short as we've seen Borges Arzo do. He is going to come out ahead of Villanueva and Herzog, so he's jumped them two effectively after the first stint. Bold strategy. I tip my cap to Kevin Millard. I don't think it's played out the way he wanted it to play out. Lap 19 of 25, and he's got some 13 seconds to catch up. So, yeah, I applaud the strategy call. I applaud the fact of trying to try something different. It hasn't come off how he wanted it to. What a shame. This is, though, looking back from Kovacs to that, then, of Borja Zarzo, who's got 0.5 of a second, half a second within him to close and get onto the back or alongside Kovacs. Kovacs 2.3 off the back of Miguel Alonso. The track position could be key here going into that next race with the slipstream not being very strong. Borges losing out through the corners. Was that an off track for Kovacs there? That's allowed Borges to get really close now into the braking zone. Not seen Borges Arzo take a race win since the prologue back in last season, back in April. Obviously, that was on the in-house Assetto Corsa Championship. Kovacs just looks a little all over the place at the moment, a little out of rhythm. Zarzo's having a look up the inside, thinks better of it. But that's going to make Kovacs aware now, and it's going to make Kovacs just look to defend a little more. Gets a better run onto the Wellington straight than Borges Arzo. So here comes Martin Kovacs then to come through Woodcote and onto the national start straight. Borges Arzo back under 0.4 of a second gap. This has ebbed and flowed all day between these two. It's going to be interesting to see what Borges can do in this dying moment of the race. Just loses some time through Maggots and Beckett's there. Doesn't get the run through that he wanted. Tries to close up on braking, does Borges now. I believe he did, you know, he did manage to gain a 10th or two. This is looking on from Borges Arzo. It's a great fight late in this race, and this is what we love to see. Here comes Borges Arzo then, still within 0.4. I mean, and don't forget, it's all down to the top 6 for the prize money in the next race. But we're having a cracking scrap here for P3 at the moment. 45 minutes worth of racing, just thereabouts by the time this is done. We've gone for 37 minutes at the moment. And this has been absolutely fantastic. See, this has been building all race. And this is what I kind of love about endurance racing. It's not about what happens in that first moment. It's about what happens in the last 2 or 3 laps. And Borges Arzo is mounting an attack here. They're both also gaining slightly on Miguel Alonso in second place. But again, let's all stay calm. Let's all remember it's all about that 3-lap sprint coming up after this, in which the grid will be set by finishing position. Borges lost time through Brooklands and Luffield. Gap opens up to half a second. That seemed a little wide there for Kovacs. Gains a bit of time. Thomas Herzog within a second now of Villanueva down the order as well, but that one will not be for anything. Millard needs 15.5 seconds to gain, and he lost a second to Fidalgo last time out. Fidalgo's gaining on Palmisano as well, so that's a battle worth watching develop. That's for 5th and 6th. And if them two have a bit of lovers tiff, well, that could allow Millard in, and that strategy would have worked. Oh, mistake! Was that a bit of a lock-up going into club for Kovacs? Not hurt him massively, but it just looked like the rear stepped out a little, turning into the left-hander. Borgia must be licking his lips here at this opportunity to take P3. The last time we saw Borges also, I believe, on the podium was after the race, where race control had given the driver a penalty, and Borges also got that third place but wasn't there to collect his trophy on the Challenger League day last year. Really close now into Brooklands. And once again, look into Luffridge, just seeing Kovacs' rear just look a little lively now. And the other two gaps of Herzog and Fidalgo have just opened up between Palmisano and himself, and between Villanueva and Herzog. And Zazo looking racy here. Is he just starting to put Kovacs under some pressure? Lap 22 or 25. Could be on for an absolute belter. A final couple of laps here. Oh, another lock-up! Another lock-up for Kovacs. And this could allow Borges also to tuck underneath the club. Has he got the momentum? No, he doesn't. But Kovacs being put under some immense pressure here at the end of this race, lap 23 of 25. And Martin Kovacs just starting to make a mistake or two. Now, he should still qualify for the second part of this race for the top three shootout. But Borges also is as close as he's been all race to the back of Kovacs and still can't find a way through. Twice in a row, we've seen a bit of a lock-up from Martin going in towards that Vale chicane. It's that club chicane. He's managed to just stretch that gap back open again, so he just knows where Borges also is a little vulnerable. Borges knows where he's vulnerable. And that is coming into club at the moment. This is looking back from Kovacs again. Just a bit of a twitch on the wheel there, coming through Beckett's. Into Chapel now. Yeah, puff for the cheeks. Rightly so. Hard work this for Martin Kovacs at the moment. Fairley comes in for his second stop. Great to see Fairley stick it out till the end. Fair play. Oh, wiggle out of Stowe. Right, club, get it right. And he does that time, but Borgia still manages to close that gap a little bit. Only driver in the 46 is Vlad Tokar over the best lap of a 46.721. Borgia's having a look. Is just, I'm still here, mate. Don't forget me. Down onto the Wellington straight they come now. Penultimate lap of the race. How is Millard doing? 17.5 seconds, so he's losing time over the others. Strategy just didn't work, unfortunately for him. It was, an interesting strategy. You'd think here, knowing that you're going through to that top six shootout, why risk it? But Borges also, you tell that to any race driver. They want as many positions as they can get. It's all about momentum. And taking that confidence into that top 6 shootout is what it'll be for Borja Zarzo. Top 5 score prize money, let's not forget. Into Maggots and Beckett's. This has been a great strap for the final couple of laps here. Really has been a fantastic one to watch. As Vlad Tokarev then has taken the white flag. We're on the final lap of the race. Borja's having a look again. Look how close he's got this time. He just needs to be that close going on to that final lap. But they start now. So here we go. Zarzo versus Kovacs. Kovacs just extends that gap a little bit through Abbey. Palmisano's in the pits! What has happened to Gianluca Palmisano as he underfueled the car? And this could put Millard into the top 6 shootout. So for Gianluca Palmisano, I think he's surely had to have underfueled by a lap, and that face tells the story. But here comes Borja Zarzo into Brooklands. It's just a look. It's just a look. It's nothing more than that. The stop time for Gianluca, 4.3 seconds. He's out, still in P6, but he's got Kevin Millard within him. There is Gianluca Palmisano, and Millard moves into 6th place. Battle on there. That's going to be worth keeping an eye on. That one is more important than the Kovacs-Zarzo battle. You can't take your eyes off either. Did Palmisano underfuel? He had to have underfueled by 1 lap, surely. So then, Gianluca Palmisano, what do you have in the locker? What this man's had in the locker was cruise control, because he exits club. It hasn't been a problem for Vlad Tokarev. That is the first part done. He's got to do it in the shootout. This is Millard versus Palmisano. They're down on the national start straight at the moment. Borja Zarzo's got past Kovacs into club, runs a little deep, has that inside line, hugs the curb, and he's got it done where Kovacs has struggled all race. Borja Zarzo at the very end takes advantage. P3 across the line for him. 2nd for Alonso. Kovacs finishes 4th. Fidalgo will finish P5, but we turn our attention to this fight now. Gianluca Palmisano, he underfueled by a lap. He's got to have a look into Stowe, carry the momentum through down into club, surely. There is Millard, just a little wider, and offline, and that's going to disturb the momentum. But was that an off-track for Palmisano? Not sure. Is he going to send it up the inside? He doesn't. Now allows Millard to turn the car in. And I think he did get the off-track. Believe he did, and that's, yeah, shake of the head. So Kevin Millard, he tried the alternate strategy. He's got a bit of a grin on his face. Rare smile for Millard there. Fortunate, to say the least. But what an end to that race. Borja Zarzo got it done for P3. And Kevin Millard, well, on the alternate strategy, he brought it home for that P6 over Palmisano. I believe got the off-track at the end. That's why he seemed slow through club. But what a race. What a race. What an end. And we now can take the back end of that race into a 3-lap shootout here, in which will bring you the grid order very soon. We'll bring you final classification of that race as well when we get to it. But what an outstanding race by all. This is the final classification. Vlad Tokarev from Miguel Alonso, Augustin Fidalgo. Martin Kovacs, Augustin Fidalgo. Borja Zarzo was P3. Kevin Millard, P6 in the end from Gianluca Palmisano. Ruben Villanueva, P8. Thomas Herzog down in 9th. Jamie Ego, P10. Harris Skenderia lap down in P11. And Andrew Fairley had a screen freeze he put in the chat 5 laps down. But it was great to see him return to the track, you know, and try and give it his all at the very end of this race. It was brilliant to see. But we get ready for that top 6 shootout grid. We do believe that the grid order will be set as the race finished, but just a few of the highlights here. And this is what we say about endurance racing. It's all about the end of the race. It's not what happens in that first half or first 3/4 of the race. It's the last few laps that count. And my, oh my, did Borja Zarzo make it count. Andrew in the chat saying, oh, well, Fair play, Andrew, for coming back and finishing the race. Track time is track time. We hope to see you again out there on the circuit in the future. Andrew, great to have you out there today, though. Yeah, what a race. What an absolute race. Who said 12 cars would have been a little dull? Race Lab said I was second fastest on the track. Yeah, and that's the cruelty of esports and sim racing, isn't it? That is the cruelty of it. The moment there for Andrew, though, on his own, that lost the rear wing from Villanueva's tap. Nobody's fault, really. Bang, there was the tap. And the incident. What a shame for Andrew. And for Ruben, really, because where would he have been without that contact and spin? Where would Ruben Villanueva have been in this one? The top 6 have a 3-minute warm-up, as this was Thomas Herzog and Fidalgo going through. This is Ego and Millard. Ego in the black car on the outside. Now on the inside for Luffield, and Millard just drove around the outside of them. And that was Villanueva watching in the background as well. This is Herzog's spin all on his own. We didn't get to see this one until we saw the replays, and just dropped it coming in towards Village here. Very strange moment for him. Another incident. Not quite sure who that one is, but yeah, again, just under the braking in towards Stowe. That was Fidalgo. That was his moment, which didn't really panic it. This is Borja Zarzo at the very end. Final lap, up the inside. You can, I said earlier, you can run a little deep because it does exactly that. It gives Borja Zarzo that inside line for the next part of the track. Palmisano coming out the pits as Millard gets past him. And then it was all about what could you do at the end, Gianluca. And he ran off track when he got great momentum as well, because Millard was a little wide at Stowe. So Gianluca Palmisano had great momentum to get down towards that club chicane and have a look. Wasn't to be for him in this one. Andrew lost it on the cold rear tyres, he said. And obviously that'll be at work for Andrew to do in the next one. Next time we have an event in the iRacing platform. The warm-up is over. We'll bring you the grid classification when we get it. And it is a top 6 shootout. It is Vlad Tokarev, Miguel Alonso, Borja Zarzo, Martin Kovacs, Augustin Fidalgo, and then Kevin Millard. It is a top 6 shootout for the prize money. And this is where it's going to be an interesting one. See, 3 laps, no pit stops, 3 laps, straight racing. Straight up sprint. Okay, everybody, we're being told that everybody is in the final. So we are just awaiting at the moment. The time screen saying that everybody is through, but we are being told that race control might be telling the drivers to not ready up. On my screen, Gianluca Palmisano has. So I don't know what will happen there with him. Obviously, it is meant to be a top 6 shootout in this race. We are just waiting for the drivers to line up on the grid. There they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars, I do believe. 8 cars are on the grid. Sam has now sorted it. Yeah, so we are back down to that top 6. So there we go. Sam has now sorted it, and we are down to that top 6. So thank you, Sam, and the race control team. And we then can get underway for the top 6 shootout. Safety car pulls into the pits. Who's your money on? Vlad Tokarev has to be the favourite for this race. Alonso has to disrupt his race at the start. Tokarev, though, left him in his dust at the start. And look at that. Tokarev's already well in front of Miguel Alonso as they pull it back to line up. Tokarev's already gone. Borja Zarzo looks like he's gotten side by side with Miguel Alonso already as the lights go green. He hasn't got fully side by side. So Tokarev from Alonso. Kovac's going to sweep round the outside of Abi over Borja Zarzo and gets back into P3. Gets ahead of Borja then. So already changes up front. Borja Zarzo looking around the outside of Village now as they come towards the loop link and then into Aintree. And Borja just been put on the back foot into Fidalgo's Delora car then. And it is Tokarev from Alonso from Kovacs and Borges also on the defence. So he's attacked all at the end of the last race. He's now got to defend here. And in a 3-lap sprint, you want to be attacking all the time. Through Luffield for that first time, then down towards the national start straight. 0.6 of a second separating Tokarev and Alonso, 0.6 of a second separating Alonso from Kovacs. Kovacs got 0.8 back to Borges also, but it's Fidalgo who's on the move. Don't forget, top 5 score prize money. One mistake from a driver in this shorter race, that'll probably be your race done. Borges knows where Kovacs is weak as well. He'll know where Kovacs is at his weakest. So needs to be on the rear. Down in towards Club Chicane. This is where Kovacs is weaker than Zarzo, or that we saw in the first race. Borges just able to close that gap a little bit, just pull away slightly from Fidalgo as well. Tokarev has already gone. Already over a second lead in this race. Vlad Tokarev looks set to take home a bit more prize money to his name. Miguel Alonso second. Good job for him in this one. Quiet race for both of them two out front. 0.6 Kovacs to Borges also. Watch out for that fight at the very end. Down towards Brooklands for the penultimate time in this event. This is going to be a fantastic one to see here. Tokarev looks absolutely dead set on P1. Miguel Alonso pretty much comfortable P2. Zarzo's now pulled ahead of Fidalgo for that 20 euros. So could Millard maybe get on the back of Fidalgo and take P5 and take a bit of prize money after that strategy in the 25-lap race? That'd be fantastic. But Borges within half a second now of Kovacs. I reckon Borges fancies this one. Here is Kovacs then, coming towards Stowe for the penultimate time. And we saw that he's made them few mistakes at club. Seems to pull away from Borges at the first part of Stowe, and then it's all the way down here where Kovacs just loses out a little bit. Let's have a look now. Look at how close Borges also gets again. The white flag flies and we're on the last lap of the race. It is Vlad Tokarev, a 46.7. Some half a second quicker than Alonso last time out. And Borges was the second quickest man on the circuit. But it's do or die now for this final couple of places and this final bit of prize money. Martin Kovacs currently P3, got the jump over Borges also at the start of the race. One slight mistake and that could be the race done. They're both pretty close to the back of Miguel Alonso here. Kovacs will fancy that extra prize money as well, no doubt. Borges is right within striking range. That is 0.4 of a second. Millard's had a problem somewhere. He's dropped off the back of Fidalgo. So it's really between these three on the last lap. One mistake from either of these three, and that is game over. Oh, close to possibly being an off-track maybe. Oh, how's your nerve? How is your nerve at the end of this race? What a day of racing it has been. No mistakes through there from any of them. Just over half a second separates Alonso to Kovacs. Just over 0.4 of a second separates Borges also to Kovacs. All about Stowe and Club now. But this man has done what he needed to do in the 3-lap sprint. Kovacs has got a bit closer through Stowe. And it could all be about a dive bomb into the Club Chicane. But for Tokarev here then as Borja Zarzo clatters over the sausage curb. Vlad Tokarev, though, is going to take the 3-lap sprint. Great win for Vlad Tokarev. Miguel Alonso will come home in second. Martin Kovacs third from Borja Zarzo P4. Augustin Fidalgo will take 5th place and the final position for prize money. And Kevin Millard across the line P6. Well, that was a fun 3-lap sprint at the end when you thought anything could happen between 2nd, 3rd and 4th. It didn't. It wasn't to be. Miguel Alonso parking up alongside Tokarev. And a bit of rev of the engines. Probably from Alonso, in congratulations to Tokarev. Their fantastic sprint race. And what a day. We'll get to speak to the top 3 momentarily. As well, we'll bring you the full classifications, but short and sweet. And you have to say for Martin Kovacs there, he got it done off the line, went round the outside of Abbey over Borja Zarzo. And Borja was then on the back foot, had to defend a little bit from Fidalgo early on in that opening lap of the sprint race, which really put him on, you know, the wrong side of Kovacs going into the rest of that race, and really meant that it was out of contention for that P3. He tried at the very end, left it late. We saw him all over the sausage curb, but it wasn't to be for Borja Zarzo. He will still take home some 30 euros, I believe, in prize money for today. So fantastic work for Borja Zarzo and for Augustin Fidalgo. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time. Same event, same car, same venue for the Racer League. So hopefully on the 14th of July for Challenge 5. Hopefully, like we said earlier, apexracingleague.com. Get signed up. Get involved, join the Racing Unleashed Discord, do your pre-qualifying time beyond the grid for the 14th of July. Pre-qualifying opens on the 8th of July. Make sure you are there, because we'd love to see you on that grid. You need an iRating of 4,500 or better to be on the Racer League grid. We'd love to see you out there. It would be absolutely fantastic to see a few more cars out there, maybe make the shootout into the top 10. Let's see what happens in 2 weeks' time, though. And we can now speak with our P1 man, Vlad Tokarev. Vlad, P1 again, absolutely fantastic. I don't know if Vlad can hear us. Vlad, can you hear us?
Oh, sorry. Thank you. Thank you for congratulations.
A very easy race for you today. You did the hard work in qualifying.
Yes, nothing's crazy happens. I just managed my tires and finished this race.
Do you like the LMP2 cars?
Yeah, on this track, it was fun, even if I drive them long.
And obviously, you took the Challenger League win last time. Challenger League win again. You're on a bit of form at the moment.
Sorry?
You managed to get the Challenge League win last time out. You've won the Challenger League again today. It's good results.
Yeah, good day. Very nice.
Well, Vlad, congratulations on the P1. Enjoy the prize money that's coming your way.
Thank you for hosting.
And congratulations to Vlad Tokarev there then. P1 overall today. Once again, takes home the prize money. We can now speak with P2 man Miguel Alonso. Miguel, just wasn't to be today. He was kind of in a lonely race, and again, that work done in the qualifying session.
Yeah, it was difficult, very sunny here in Spain. And well, Vlad today was on another planet, and I just focus on my pace, keep Martin behind, and to make no mistakes.
Yeah, make no mistakes. That sprint race though, Martin was closer at the end of the sprint race.
Yeah. Well, I'm very tired, and I was not found my pace in the sprint race, and it's very tough. It was very tough, but at the end we made it.
Yeah, P2. You've still got to be happy with the position at the very end of it, and to take home some prize money.
Yeah.
Oh, Miguel, congratulations. We'll let you get to it.
Thank you.
Miguel Alonso there, P2 overall, and Martin Kovacs we'll get to speak with in a moment's time, who was on the podium, I believe, last time out as well in the Challenge League. And Martin, that's twice now on the podium in these iRacing challenges, but it wasn't easy.
Hey, yeah, it was very difficult. As Miguel said, it's the same in Hungary. It's very, very hot and dry. I was struggling with, the heat, even the air condition is still on. And in the first race, I had to manage the fuel as well. So it was 40% of the fuel capacity each time around in the pit. And I don't know, 5 laps before the end, I saw that it's not going to cut it. So I had to manage the fuel. I had to back off the throttle at the end of every straight. And even like that, just before the finish line, the engine started cutting out. So it was a very lucky fourth in the first race. It wasn't bad, but it made it a little bit more difficult to keep Borja behind. And I was a little bit afraid that in the sprint I cannot take over his position.
Yeah, and you managed to get it done very, very early. First corner, round the outside. Fantastic move. Just talk us through it from your perspective. So
in the first race, I overtook somebody for the same position in the same corner in the same way. So I figured that this is my opportunity to take, a position early in the race, because if you settle in, if the tires get warm, it's going to be very difficult. So I was a little bit relieved. Maybe that P4 for the second race was even better than third, because I could see Vlad starting the race just coming out of the corner, so I could press on the throttle, I think, earlier than Borja, and that was the key for this moment. I left a little bit space in the inside, so if Borja wanted to get alongside me, it would have been just fine. But then I saw him in the rear view mirror, and I just pushed flat out until the next section, and I think we made a little bit of contact, maybe net code, maybe not, but that was it. I could just keep on for third. But if you looked at the gap between him and myself, it was around 4 or 5 tenths maybe. Yeah. And we were doing 47.2s, 47.1s, I think. And Borja didn't have that much pace in the first race. So I think he found something, or maybe the track got faster, I don't know. But I was struggling with grip throughout the race. So I'm just happy to finish it.
Yeah, happy to finish it indeed. P3, a great day for you, Martin. Congratulations, and hopefully we'll see you again on the next one.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Martin. So a very hot Spain, a very hot Hungary, and what a day of racing, what a day of action for our top 3, Borja Zarzo and Agustin Fidalgo, taking home the 4th and 5th place prize money as well. So don't forget, 14th of July is the Racer League event. We'd love to see you there, as we've just said. Make sure you go to apexracingleague.com and sign up there. You'll be a part of the Racing Unleashed Discord. Sign up, read the rules and regulations, and do your pre-qualifying time on the 8th of July. That is what you need to do to make sure you are on that grid. You need an iRating of 4,500 or more. But that is it for the Challenger League event for this one. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time for the Silverstone event of the LMP2 de Lara. There, in what we hope to be another cracking day. Same format, same race, same car, same track. Different drivers, though. That's going to be the bonus. It's going to be interesting to see what we have in store. And that is really all we have time for. Don't forget, if you are wondering where the Racing Unleashed season is, it is starting in September this year. Keep your eyes on all our social media, Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, to keep your eyes out for the calendar, which I assume will be launched within the next couple of months, and we'll be able to find out what locations we'll be taking to this season starting in September. But we'll see you on the 14th of July. Goodbye.